Boom! We're off with another episode of Booze Your Data Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy, Zach Cinnamon Tova Mazel Toast Crunch Elias. What's up, buddy?
Come on, Kryptonite. You hang in there.
Booze Your Data Podcast. Tuesdays, we do it live. Saturdays, we post it later. Rate, review, subscribe. People come hang out, whether it's your first episode or your 132nd. We love having the company. We got some people live here today. We're going to keep doing this week after week, except maybe Zach might be on hiatus.
Yeah, Italy. If my plane shows up. My mom is currently on her way to Venice in theory, stranded at JFK. I got Jenna working the phones with a travel agent, sort of. She's okay. She's messed up plenty of trips. Trying to find them a flight for maybe tomorrow. I could have gotten them into a different flight today by way of Portugal or Vienna. So that was my evening up until right now. There is a world where my phone rings and you all in Radio Land get to hear me and my mom banter about air travel. So that'll be good theater.
I would kill for this. That would be so good.
You heard the preview of it. You saw what was going on. You just popped on and I'm out with my mom and Jenna in here. It's a whole scene. It's chaos in my house.
On this podcast, we like to try different beers, something new every show. Zach, why don't you tell everybody what we are drinking for tonight's episode?
We are drinking from the Brumsky Brewing Factory.
That is not what that says.
Widmer Brewing, the Hoppy Red. So I guess it's okay. It's a hockey game on. It's Rangers colors, sort of. Brumsky Brewing. I love that. By the way, that's the best line for the motorboat. Brumsky, you had me. I'm done. I'm out. That. So again, from the Windber from Portland. So they keep changing where they claim they brew from, but whatever. That's their problem. There's really nothing exciting about this. Northwest Red Ale. All right, this will be fine.
Zach, do you know what has two thumbs and loves red ale?
That guy?
Ron Katz.
Oh, how about that?
Loves them red ale. Release the Kraken.
Like Mad Dog Red Ale. Remember that shit from back in the day? Oh, Red Dog. Red Dog is what it was.
L'chaim.
Yeah, let's see some Red Dog. It's trying too hard.
Yes.
It's trying way too hard.
Yes. Episode 132. We're calling this one Top of the Stretch, which meant absolutely nothing to me up until this past weekend. Did you know?
Down the stretch they come, of course.
A million times I've heard down the stretch, but we had a birthday outing this past week for your boy, and our seats were top of the stretch. And when we went in and the guy goes, "Oh, you're sitting top of the stretch," I was like, cool, bro. I have no idea what we're doing. And then we got there. Those were great seats, right?
They were depends on the race because you can't see the line. So they were fun. I liked the little pen, and I loved that, it was a good time. But as far as horse race seats, they're okay because you can't see who finishes. So, you have an idea if one guy's mowing the field down, but if it's a close one, you don't get to see the, right at the line. But yeah, top of the stretch. I didn't realize it was its own section. But if you ask me where the top of the stretch of a horse track is, I can tell you it's the last pole.
I'll give you a last poll.
Sure, you will. Wait, is that a call or is that a text? I'm good.
All I know is if you and I were going to the track, which meant we're real degenerates, let's sit upstairs close to the finish line. But when you're going
down, you can get right down by the rail. That same spot, right at the rail on any day other than the stakes. You can watch them come in.
By a nose. A Jewish horse.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on Rivka. We'll get to Rivka in a minute. I woke up, honestly, yesterday, and I woke up, and first was about fucking Rivka. I was so mad about it. I was fuming.
Look, I just know, so to tell people what happened, we had a friend who had a birthday party. They
know Eric. They all know this D-bag.
We have listeners that don't know us, Zach. You assume everybody knows us? No. Half the time.
He's been pishadoo of the week 9 times running.
But there are people that listen to this that don't know anything. And they can't.
You noobs, he sucks, but he turned 40.
He was great, and he did a great job hosting.
He did.
We went to the Belmont racetrack, not the Belmont Stakes, for a birthday party this past weekend, and there was a lot of highlights to cover. But essentially, we had this little gated-in area where they have these picnic areas, AstroTurf, there's a grill, you can BYOB, bring your own food. The day cost me $0, by the way. Other than my gambling losses, that was a very free day. I don't know how much it cost Eric.
Your gambling losses of $0?
My gambling losses were more than that, but I know you rated
a pansy bet.
Zach, go. Start talking. I didn't know that you were quite the connoisseur of horse bets.
I bought the big program.
Tell our audience why you bought the big program.
For everyone. So we walk in there, and there's a racing form guy who's now charging $7. It used
$7.50.
Right, it used to be $3 in the day. Now it's $7.50 for a non-stakes day. For a stakes thing, it's probably your firstborn. But they have pictures in that one. Mine was the racing form. So he's like mocking me that I have it gives you all the little lines of the, but you really need it so you can roll it up and like whip yourself with it. Come on, hang in the number 5. Get up with that 4. Come on, give me that 4-3 combo. Like you got to do the race. They can't really see my hand. You know it.
The best was every time Zach was watching these events, he was just yelling everything you just heard, and then as the
whole race.
As the horse loses, he goes, you mule.
Yeah, always a mule. You mule, you suck, glue stick.
Realistically,
you have to yell at the horses. You have to yell at the jockeys. That's all part of the pageantry. Now, they gave you little books. If I knew they would give you the book, I wouldn't have bought it. But I wasn't expecting those Fleischers to pony up for books.
I didn't know that came from Aunt Ellen, right?
I have no idea who it came from.
It was one of his aunts. They were giving out these books. Look, I knew nothing about anything. I just went there and was picking.
Hopped up on horse tranquilizers all day.
I was picking the horses by the names and by the odds, meaning I would find a name that I liked and it was 80-1, not picking it. But I found, first horse, first race was Brajol going off at 8-5. Sign me up.
He came in, didn't he?
I think it was one of those. My patients have been asking me all day about my weekend as far as like,
I picked one horse by her fucking name and she burned me. But we'll get there. I can't.
So the first couple of races, and for people that have never been, you just want action. You just want to have a horse that you have a chance to do something. And in 2 of the first 4 races, my horse was out and running and doing amazing.
He didn't have the pony for it.
They're still running. They never finished the race. Yeah, they died. But the point is you have some fun. I was putting anywhere from $3 to $10 down, and it was fun. But I'll tell you, the time that I had the horse just to win, and that piece of shit won, it was great.
Yeah, it's great. I hit on like 4 out of the 9.
You were going win place like a real wuss.
I was going win place, and I had a trifecta on one of them too.
Did you? And you only made how much this weekend?
I've made about 100 profit. I put a $1 trifecta box, which cost me $6, but I also had them win place. But when they won, you win 1.5 times.
So why didn't we park in the $10 lot?
I offered, you fucking maniac. So we pulled in there, and it's like $10 to park right up front. Nothing. Like
spit on the track. It was great.
Exactly. Then he's like, no, let's go to the blue lot. It's free. I said, Alan, I will pay for this. It costs you nothing. Julia's like, just go. He's like, no, out of principle, I won't pay for parking. Let's go to the blue lot. It's like right there. I said, no, you got to take like a bus to get from blue lot to.
We didn't. We walked.
We didn't. We walked. I felt like I was in the race. It was brutal. It was like 4 miles from anywhere. And it was like us and 3 other cars that all looked stolen.
Now, Zach, you bring very little to the table for some of these episodes. You told me a story that was dynamite because as we were doing the walk from the blue lot to the race, a guy drives up and asks us a question, which is always funny when you're the asshole that doesn't know where you're going and somebody asks you for directions. And the only thing that comes out of both of our mouths is, man, that guy looked just like Paul Simon.
Dead ringer for him.
Dead ringer. Julia goes,
because he was in like a Toyota Tercel.
Julia goes, I have no idea who Paul Simon is.
Yeah, that was painful.
At which point, I'll just give you the floor. Tell people what you told me this past weekend about Paul Simon and your history with him.
Well, I met him once, briefly. It wasn't a long encounter.
That's what she said.
Exactly. And so he said too, probably. So my mom and I had to be 2001 or 2. Like she's driving and we're just pulling up in front of our house, our apartment. And this big black Mercedes like swoops in front of us. Parks, it's his Nazi sled, exactly. Nice Jewish boy from Queens, made good. So he pulls up right in front of us, and he's like backing in. It's this big car, and like I'm looking at my mom, like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He's like backing in. I don't know. He's like an idiot, and he gives us a little kiss, but a little bump. He let us know he was there. We both get out ready to kill. Like we are so mad. Like when you bump someone and they're in the car, they're not happy. And we jump out, and out pops 4'9" of Paul Simon. And it was so disarming. My mom just like goes, wait, don't we look? And he looks at her dead honest and goes, I didn't this time. I'm sorry. And we looked at each other, we looked at him, and we just laughed like idiots. Then his kid ran out and the car pulls away. Had nothing. He had that, bridge over troubled waters, deep pockets. I should have faked an injury.
Oh, my neck. Ugh.
Exactly. Yeah, he knows what that's about. Garfunkel wouldn't be able to afford the bill, but Paul Simon can.
Where do you think Garfunkel is these days?
Olive Garden.
Oh, I wish. I'd rather be in that horse than the other one.
Yes, that's my Paul Simon encounter.
So being down at the top of the stretch, we're there, we're having a great time. I gotta admit, I've never been that close to the horses. What are we, 30 feet, 20 feet from the actual horses? It was pretty...
Not when they run on the infield. Everyone was complaining. Why are they so far away? What animal? They run on infield sometimes.
When they were on the outside, that was probably the first time I've ever heard the sound of the whips.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the racing.
The crack of the whip.
The crack of the whip on the horse.
I hate the whip. The whip should be outlawed.
That was brutal. I heard that, and you just, because there's how many horses in each race? Anywhere from 6 to 12. So you just hear crack, 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 crack. And people on TV always think oh, they like it. That's somebody in our group, I forget, said they like it. I got news for you. They do not like that whip.
Who said that? Maybe they like it.
It was Gloria.
Absolutely likes it.
That horse likes
Gloria loves the crack. I didn't say horse, but, nevertheless, Gloria likes it. Likes the crack of the whip, leather, the bridle.
It was brutal, man. People think they enjoy it. Those horses were running for their lives, getting beaten. It was. I'm not the snowflake.
That's why they're running.
I thought it was for the carrots.
Maybe.
Oh man. So finally, we get to.
Seinfeld says the horse doesn't know he's in a race. He knows that the jockey's in a big hurry, but he doesn't know that he's in a race.
What race was it that I picked my horse? I was so excited, and you come over and with your little program here, get your papers. It's the Elias Brewing Company. So you threw some money on my horse, and then it won.
Oh, it clean. That's the one I won. That's the one I won pretty big on.
Everything, right?
Yeah, I hit that. I hit him to win place, and I hit him with the Fecta. But
see, I just know, Zach, that I'm trying to convince you.
The Elias Stables. Now that said, I needed it because I hit 2 races earlier decently and rolled it all into a horse from Ireland named in a filly race. So never bet on a broad. All female race, Rivka. Me and our friend Steve Shackman look at it and go, Rivka from Ireland, take my money.
It said IRE in big bold letters next to it, which we all were like, I wonder what that stands for. It can't be. You knew that?
Yeah, of course. They also have sometimes from GB or from, if it's an NY horse, they tell you. I've been to the track plenty of times. It's not my first rodeo, literally. I've been on weekdays at times.
What happened with Rivka?
I don't know. You tell me. She's still out. You maybe bought her. I wanted to go claim her. Like City Slickers. Go buy her for $80 in the back before they shoot her. She was terrible. She had a lead for 12 seconds and then that was gone. That put a good chunk back. The one I actually did pretty well on to make it up. It was the last race. So you got 1 and 1A. I think everyone left before then.
I didn't know that you could do that they put 2 horses in and you went both. That was amazing.
I said you have to. If you're going to get double odds on the favorite, you've got to go 1 and 1A.
Yeah, that's some horse shit. Literally, you get 2 horses in one race.
Well, not if you bet on them. It's just because you bet on some guy named Clown Shoes or whatever you bet on.
I had no idea what I was doing, Zach. I was just throwing money around.
You should have listened to me. You would have been up plenty too.
But
truth be told, I was sort of just hot. I'm usually not that. I usually collect more than 50%.
We know.
When I went to the Preakness, I couldn't pull. I lost everything. Empty pockets, and I took my Chavance out. Not a good day.
At the end of the day, there was 9 races, and you just want to have a little bit of fun. And I've been thinking, other than the obvious, I know you've never played craps, but eventually I'll teach you. Horse racing was up there. Having a horse that you bet a couple bucks on, and it's out in front, one of the better feelings I've ever had.
Oh, it's incredibly thrilling when you see them. But you need the book. Trust me. Next time, just bring up some random loose leaf papers. You can do the same thing. It's the same
out of my Trapper Keeper? I don't have loose leaf
bring
paper.
Your Trapper Keeper, and you could hit that thing and call him a mule or a nag, and come on, hang in there with that 4. Get up there with that 2-4 combo. You just yell gibberish because the kid next to you is also yelling gibberish. He was your guru, by the way. There was some 7-year-old who was Alan's literal horse whisperer. He was telling Alan, "I like the 4 in the 3rd race." And that was it.
That's actually not what happened. There was
exactly what happened.
No, there was a little kid in our party who I tried to befriend and be nice with. He hated me. But no, there were kids in the next picnic area where I had already placed my bet. And next thing you know, coming around, you just hear them going, funny joke, funny. And that was my horse, and it won every time.
Hey, that was the guy.
But I already had my bets down.
I think you bet with him another time too. I think you were listening to him and like, what does he like?
It was a bunch of little girls, a bunch of nags.
Yeah.
Then I had to drive home with a nag.
Hey-o, how was she?
Zach, at least one of us in our group decided to dress the part for a day at the track. All you other schlemiels are out there with your little ball caps and your polo shirts. I went full horse racing attire.
Yeah, you look like a maniac in your overall shirt and your bar mitzvah hat. Usually I do wear a fedora when I go. The fedora happened to be living in the trunk of the car my wife had. But I do have a fedora, and she has a Belmont hat, too, a big jaunty hat. You look like some giveaway prize on a cruise ship.
Amazing is what I looked. Yeah, I know. Fun. I didn't tell anybody.
You're the guy that people walk up to you and say, hey, who do you like in this race? And then they thank you, and they cross them off.
Okay, I didn't tell anybody this. It was after one of the last races. I'm walking back from the bathroom, and some old drunk guy in a group of 3 turns up to me, and he goes, hey, who'd you lose a bet to dressed like that?
You could have said literally any one of the last 6 races I lost a bet to.
Best part is I give him like a chuckle. I keep going, who cares? And some young kid who's walking in stride with me looks at me. He goes, you could have fucked him up. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's aggressive.
By the way, welcome to the races at Queens.
It was so aggressive. I couldn't believe it.
They don't do that at Pimlico. It's not. It's their class A to be an animal.
You just do a crack rock.
That was the worst place I've ever been to in my life.
I grew up
right near there. That place was debaucherous, and then you leave the track, and then it really gets scary.
Zach, all in all, it was a fun day. Shout out to your boy Eric. It was a lot of fun.
I was heckling his father, but the Rangers seemed a bit aggressive too.
Fuck him.
That's all the guy can do. He's at his son's birthday with his jerk-off friends who were drunk and yelling at horses. All this guy wants to do is watch his iPad. You wouldn't let him do that.
I was just checking on the score. Give him the business.
You gave him some business, all right.
All I know is when he packed it up in the opposite of Glee, I looked at him and I said, no overtime? And he looks at me and goes, no.
Someone said to him, the same kid, you could have fucked him up. Killed you. What do you have done? What would you have done if he got aggressive? You were just taking your beating like a man. If a 70-something-year-old guy starts hitting you with his...
He wouldn't touch me. I'd kill him.
This giant lens.
Murder, death, kill, John Spartan. No chance.
Find during the... John Spartan.
Zach, I had
a
couple of things that have happened to me with some patients in the last couple of weeks, which I thought were noteworthy, so I jotted them down. So it's always hard to make a good nickname. I have a new patient named Barbara. And, of course, she's very serious. And one time I said, like, Barb. I said Babs.
You gotta go Babs.
Babs she did not like.
They know none of them do. That's why it's the go-to.
And at one point, this is like a week ago, Memorial Day weekend, I turned to her and I said, has anybody ever called you Barbara Q? And awful. She looked at me, she goes, I've never heard that before.
Murder, death, kill?
It wasn't great, but she looked at me like, that's at least your original, which is what I'm going for. Another patient, old Ukrainian couple. Obviously, things nishkit right now in Russia, Ukraine. Great. And we're sitting there. They have C-SPAN on all day, every day. And that's all they watch. I'm just sitting there now. I have to wear a full face mask when I'm with my patients, cover up my big schnoz. And somehow these 2 old Jews look at me and they says, no offense, but Jewish people are just much smarter than everybody else.
Why would you take offense to that?
And I looked at him, I said, why would I take offense to that? Whether it's true or not. And she looks at me, she goes, I don't know. At which point I pull down my mask and just show my face, and she just does this nod like, oh, okay.
You do the handshake? You're in the Dakota ring?
But the best story I have about
Rivka.
The best story I have about any patient, Zach, is I have this nice guy super nice guy. He lives in Colonia, and his neighbor, I know this isn't a New York problem, but his neighbor isn't cutting his grass since the season has started. And the grass is now, I don't know, maybe 2 feet, maybe 1.5 feet. It's getting up there.
Is it a Rangers thing? Is he like a playoff beard?
No. When the summer starts, grass starts growing. I guess you've never experienced this, right? You don't know about mowing your lawn?
No, I'm all smooth.
How often do you think one has to mow their lawn when you live in the burbs?
Just 2 weeks.
You're out of your mind. It's every week. And you're very privileged. But anyways.
I don't know. Don't you have a guy for that?
So my patient goes to his neighbor and knocks on the door and is like, hey, it would be nice if you mowed your lawn. And the guy gives him like I'll take care of it. But what he's really saying was go screw yourself. Yeah. A week goes by, nothing happens. My patient calls the town.
No way he's smooth. There you go, Julia. Get a handful. Take a gander. Yeah.
My patient calls the town on this guy. The guy next door finally goes out and mows every part of his lawn except for the part in between their houses and just lets that grow. Like the ultimate fuck you to this guy. And
I
it makes
can't believe he didn't just go mow like cock into his yard. That forces your hand to mow the rest of it, or you just leave it.
I show up the other day and this guy is red in the face, mad. And I was like, hey, Mr. Smith, how's it going? He's like, he mowed everything except for. I went, maybe he ran out of gas. He goes, no, he was telling me to go fuck myself. That's what he did.
They get real weird and personal with you. I have never told the doctor anything close to the weirdness of that story.
Really?
Like, it's not a bartender.
Oh, I hear all types of stuff.
Really?
Have
With
I ever
being
told
a doctor, it is all business. It's like, put the Barry Manilow on, feel my nuts, and let's go.
Did I ever tell you
Prescribe
the
me more hair
story?
pills. Like, just get on with it.
Upper West Side, when I was working there, I had this patient, really nice guy. It was about 80, 81, on the pill, not your pill, the actual pill, where
Good for
he's
him.
dating up the wazoo. And this guy, he comes in one day. I feel like I've told this on air, but he comes in one day and he goes, Alan, I got to show you this chick I went out with last night. Or maybe he said like dame or broad, which makes it even
Dame?
better.
I like
He goes,
that.
this young girl, 68 years old, which is
Ooh.
very young for him.
Smoke
He
show.
shows me a picture. Zach, it was somebody's grandmother.
Okay. Would you?
No, she was disgusting. I'm so old.
Like, what's her name? Christy Brinkley's like 68. She's a smoke show still.
It was not good. It was one of those like, but people tell me stuff. I drink and know things.
I suppose you do, but I have never gotten that personal with anyone in the medical field. Like my dentist is my doctor's daughter, so there's not a lot of chit chat with the whole thing. It's a lot going on. It's all familial.
Zach, I got hit by a car the other day.
What? Like before the Belmont, or like between Belmont and today?
Before I saw you.
Oh, why didn't you tell me? You saved that for tonight?
I go to Dunkin' Donuts on my way to one of my patients.
Air?
I
Catch
park.
air?
No, I park in the parking lot, and I go to cut through the drive-through where a car had just
walk through.
A car had just pulled forward because they got their stuff. And I walk immediately behind the car just to kind of go right in the door. And for whatever reason, lady in the drive-thru puts it in reverse. And like, I did a good like shimmy out of the way.
You
and
didn't
like,
tell Julia about this?
it wasn't worth talking about. She doesn't. She just complains all day. I don't want to talk to
She
her
does
anymore.
complain a lot.
So
Be
I
honest.
jump out of the way, and it kind of like made a bigger sound, but like I didn't hit the ground, but it definitely hit my hips. But my quick cat-like reflexes, I got out of the way, and then the lady is mortified in the front seat. I continued on my way to go in. She's like, oh my god, are you okay, sir? Are you okay? I went, yeah,
Sir,
I'm
that's
good.
pretty good.
She goes, no, seriously, sir, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm just
Did
gonna
she
go in.
buy you a donut, you fatty? What are you doing at Dunkin' Donuts?
I was getting an egg white sandwich and a coffee. I had some time to kill, all right?
Did she buy that for you at least, for the effort?
I am trying to go into this Dunkin' Donuts to get a coffee, and she is harassing me at this point with, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, yeah. I turned to her, I said, I'm okay. I just want to get a coffee. Sir, should I call 911? I'm
She
like,
just doesn't want to get sued.
why the hell did she go in reverse in a drive-thru?
That's a big ball. See, I was 2 seconds away from siding with the car over you for doing a walkthrough. But when you told me reverse, you can't go reverse in the drive-through.
I don't
You
understand.
can't.
Again, she pulled forward, and as soon as I saw that, I kind of make the assumption like, okay, I'm going to just walk behind her, and she just goes
Maybe she was giving the
backwards.
old in out.
Maybe they forgot her hash browns. I don't know what happened, but it was really bad.
You can all do better than Dunkin'. That's my takeaway.
With what?
I don't know. Anything.
If you want a bagel, yes. If you just want some coffee, you're out of your mind. Dunkin's the best.
Says Mr. Olive Garden. P.F. Chang over there.
P.F. Chang.
Yeah. So was she cute? Could you have landed that bird? In a different
Pishadoo.
world, would this have worked out? Because
No.
there's great. Like, I've seen Red Shoe Diaries. I know how it starts.
No.
I love that show with the company.
Pishadoo of the week. I got a couple of candidates for you.
By the way, Julia, he's not smooth. What? Meaning hit by a car? Then I'm not Jewish. That's good. That's good text banter.
Candidate number 1, your girl, Zoe, voted for 3 times Ms. Hillary Rodham Clinton in the news this past week. She is trying to make...
Clinton or Zoe?
Zoe voted for her 3 times.
Right,
Remember that story?
Which is the piece should do. I guess we'll see.
Zoe, always a Pishadoo.
Mhm.
But Hillary Rodham is starting to she's trying to make a hashtag. Hashtag wear orange. She wants to make orange this new like lefty color. I'm not exactly sure what she's going for, whether it's the anti-guns or anti-anything else, but Zach, as a Baltimore Orioles fan, orange has never been a good color for people to do anything.
I have so much orange in my house. You don't even know. I love orange. My mom thinks it's ridiculous, but it says I was on the orange trend before anybody else was doing orange. I like it. I don't care what it's supporting. I'm supporting wearing orange.
Aren't you glad? Seriously?
Not necessarily her. She's a lot, but I do like orange. It's a New York-based color. Knicks, Mets. It's in the flag. Next,
Islanders.
Fuck them.
Go away. It's so stupid. But little segue. I had this a couple weeks ago. But as far as wear orange, I'm at the gym a couple weeks ago, and at ESPN's on, and they have the baseball odds to win the World Series. Orioles going off at 1,000 to 1 right now to win the World Series. And as a Baltimore Orioles fan, I
thought, are they seeing 1,000?
I don't know where they're getting 1,000.
Where are they seeing 1,000?
1,000 is a steal.
How about 75 million to 1?
I agree with you.
Pick a number, a gajillion. Like whatever.
I saw this. I'm on the treadmill and I see 1,000 to 1, and I go, "That's way too nice. Like 1,000, it's insane.
Stupid.
It's beyond stupid." I'm with you. Candidate number 2. I think we've talked about this already, but for our podcast listeners, Jim Catt, Minnesota Twins broadcaster guy, who made a nice little reference to Nestor Cortez and called him Nestor the Molester. He since has apologized. It is what it is. My bigger beef is every single Yankees fan that I talked to about this was like, not a big deal. Every non-Yankees fan was like, what an asshole.
Nicknames are funny.
Nestor the Molester. You're good. You're cool. Yeah.
I don't love it. I wouldn't want it to be my nickname, but it made me laugh. And that is the barometer.
You're 5.
You didn't laugh when you heard that?
No, it was stupid.
I liked it.
One of my buddies has a brother-in-law named Lester.
Yeah,
I've heard this forever. Like, come on.
Right, but not on the air. Like John Candy. Never said World Series, and I'm on the air.
Candidate number 3, right in from Ron Katz, Alec Boehm, who's been in the news for a couple times this year. Did you see what he did the other night?
No.
Phillies third baseman, who has had a couple temper tantrums. He takes a baseball bat, goes back to the dugout, and is violently, like, kind of stroking it inside and out of the where you put your bats thing.
Yeah.
And he just misses it, at which point it goes right into his chin, draws blood. Hysterical.
That is pretty funny, especially because he's in the Phillies. I like that. As an idiot.
Speaking of stroking it, somebody sent me the Ron and Keith from, was it last night?
Unbelievable. Did I send that to you?
No, somebody else did.
Unbelievable. I texted my friends, if you're not watching the Met game, you've missed the best 2 minutes of banter of all time.
It was a 2-parter where the Mets guys calling this game, the one, Keith Hernandez is talking about stroking the ball. And I got to admit, I thought it was X-rated. And Ron's just going.
Gary Cohen.
Gary.
Yeah. He says, no, he stroked out. And
he was thinking more like have a stroke, and Keith is purely being X-rated with this.
And then Keith goes, sometimes I take it the wrong way. You're taking the wrong direction. It was hysterical. But yeah, stroking out was the thing.
It was so good.
Jeff McNeil had like 2 hits.
But I've also used the term like he has a nice stroke, and Keith just referring to jerking off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gary referring to like stroking, having a stroke.
Then they shoot to the 2 of them in the booth, just dying.
It was great. It was very good.
What were you? It's 12:30 at night. Like I texted 2 of my friends who I knew were up because I'm a degenerate watching this game too.
It was funny. It
was hysterical. They're amazing together. Like they're just. The 3 of them are great. It's one guy who's a baseball nerd and 2 guys who don't give a fuck.
Candidate number 4. I was at the gym today. Zach, I know
hard, huh?
The only gym you've ever been in is probably on the Lower East Side, somebody who lives there, right?
Huh?
It's a gay joke. Anyways.
That was terrible.
That was decent.
Swung on and missed.
Is there anything worse than guy at the gym who has a cell phone and walks around talking as loud as possible?
Absolutely. It's a guy at my building gym who grunts, and he wears a paper towel on his head like some sort of schmata to get his sweat, and he sits there on the exercise like it's horrible, but I can't stop laughing.
I haven't looked it up yet, but I may get one of those cell phone jammers for when I go to the gym just to mess with the guy's signal. He is on the
helmet. How do you get a jammer?
I know a guy.
Radar
All right,
about to
those
be
are your
jammed.
candidates. Wear
Hey, you know
Orange,
that?
Nestor the Molester, Alec Bohm, and Jim Guys.
Alec Bowman, maybe Zoe.
What does Zoe do?
I don't know. She liked Hillary.
All right, Zach, I got 5 quick questions. People watching this show, we're doing Belmont Trivia tonight. And
Ooh.
whether he gets this or not, you're here to learn something. We're here to have fun. Are
You
you
all could have
ready?
taken a nickel's worth of knowledge because I'm the only schmuck who won that thing. Everyone else lost their shirt or didn't bet, which is even worse than losing.
Oh my God.
Why go and not
I was going to
bet?
say that. I can't believe there are people that didn't bet.
Like,
Look, you can
didn't
bet
bet a single
$2.
race.
You can go there, 9 races, bet $2, and probably get back 10 if you do anything
or you
right.
lose $18 and you act like a big shot for the day. Ask the 6-year-old next door if he wants. Kid would itchy to get to the tables.
Can we switch and make that the pishadoo? Because I actually was really
Anyone who
bothered by
doesn't
that.
bet is ridiculous. What's the point of showing up to a horse track? It's like going to a casino and just like hanging out.
I thought you and I were the only people that bet every race, so I didn't want to say it.
No, I happily bet every race. I was the only person who bet more than 2 digits a race.
Question number 1, plus or minus 20 years. When was the first Belmont Stakes?
From today?
Hmm?
20 years in general?
Plus or minus 20 years, what was the first year they had the Belmont?
The first year they had the Belmont, I think I'm going to say 1885.
1867. Circle gets a square.
Yeah.
Question the second. The signature drink of the Belmont Stakes is called the Belmont Jewel. If you were there this weekend, I made some for people. It was delicious. It's made up of 3 parts bourbon, 2 parts lemonade, and 1 part A, cherry juice, B, cranberry juice, C, pomegranate juice, D, raspberry juice.
I was just going to say Queen's tap water, but I think it's cherry juice.
Correct answer is pomegranate juice.
That sounds awful. How was it? And by the way, thanks for offering anybody else.
You could have had.
Nobody, you didn't offer a single thing. I think you're going out of the bottle.
That's not true. Question number 3. When it comes to horses, you measure them in what unit?
How big is their unit? I need more information.
Their height.
That's just their height? That's the answer?
No, the question is, how do you measure a horse's height?
Oh, how do you measure a horse's height in like what unit of measurement?
This is very specific. You either know it or you don't. I thought this was a gimme.
Meters?
Ron
Furlongs?
Katz, phone a friend.
Hands.
Yes.
Pretty good.
The horse is X hands tall. The follow-up to that was, how big is a hand? Because it's smaller than you think. You were supposed to say depends where you measure.
Well, you need 2 hands for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Zach, hands, I didn't know this, 4 inches.
What?
When they say that
Is it a
horse
jockey's
is
hand?
19 hands tall, it's
I have no
4
idea.
inches.
Jockey's hands, maybe. Those jockeys, by the way, slay. They make a ton of money because they race all day long. So they hit like 2 races or 3 races. They walk away with like 30 grand a day. They're all like 5'4" with these knockout 6-foot bombshell wives. Watch one of the derbies when they win. Slay.
Question number 4. 2016 Belmont winner, creator, was partially owned by which celebrity chef? A, Aaron Sanchez. B,
No.
Bobby Flay. C,
No.
Gordon Ramsay.
No.
D, Joe Bastianich.
Creator, I believe, was owned by Bastianich and Batali.
Correct answer is B, Bobby Flay.
Really? Fuck
Yeah,
him.
I didn't know that, but when I Googled it, things came up. And question number 5. You know I had to do this. 1973 Triple Crown winner Secretariat still holds the record for the largest margin of victory, plus or minus 6. How many lengths did he win by?
He won by, I think, 35 lengths.
Correct answer is 31 horse lengths. You're right. That is insane for a horse. Ron Katz on the head.
On the head.
The horse wins the race.
Did you ever see the race? It's stupid. He's the only horse in the picture. Like, they couldn't get the other ones in the frame.
31 lengths of a horse he wins
I
by.
thought it was 35, but that was, he mowed him down, baby. And it wasn't even close. It was like out of the gate. But he was like a freak. He had the giant heart thing. He processed oxygen and then died.
Zach, I don't want to take.
Big Brown. Oof, he laid a Big Brown.
I hate to take a page out of the what's it called? PYT, not PYT, PTI.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to take a page out of the PTI book, but every now and then we get things wrong, and I might start throwing some stuff in there, but say what you want. Remember we talked about cutting a cake and then you take a little bit and you put it on your friend's nose?
Yeah.
Mr. Eat the Rat came at me. He's like, yeah, that's a thing.
It's a thing.
He says he might be like a New Jersey, New York thing. I've never heard of that or seen it in my life. So you're right, I guess I'm saying.
Hell yeah. Maybe they don't sell cake at Giant, but here we have it.
Again, son of a bitch.
In for a dime, in for a dollar.
Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Thanks for listening to tonight's episode. People, we love the support. People, download, rate, review. Jump in on these live ones every Tuesday. I'm having fun, and a glue stick for the win.
He didn't win. Rivka for the loss.